It was at this moment that he knew.
Hello everyone. In today's video I will be taking a second to kind of clean out and show my shame in a way you could say. I have let my shop fall into absolute chaos. I've been busy as all get out with all sorts of things, and life just kind of hit hard, so I have been neglecting my shop hardcore, and it is something that is I'm not happy about. I take no pride in this whatsoever, and it looks horrible. So, in today's video, I'll be going through just a bit of a time lapse here, getting through the process of getting it back to its former glory, and something I can be proud to just open the door, turn the light on, and start working, rather than feeling like I have to take so much time decluttering and cleaning up just so it looks good for you guys to be seeing it, so you're looking at the project and not just such a terribly dirty shop. As well as it just makes it easier to reach for a tool and know it's right there versus going, oh, where did I put that? And that has been absolute bane of my existence, and it's made content drop a bit there. So I apologize for that one. But if I get this shot back into a better order, the next project will be getting all of my lumber under control. And it'll just make a lot of the video production for what you guys are able to see and what I'm able to create in content just a lot better and a lot more streamlined. So without putting off this chore any longer, I gotta get to work and take you along for the ride. Alright, so kind of going into a quick little segment here to show you what I have achieved so far. I think I'm going to have to call it quits on going too in-depth with this, because I feel like if I go too far into it, my OCD is going to take over, and I'm going to be out here for 3 days in what I was just originally wanting to be kind of a quick go through and clean up the workshop, because I've let it get away from me too much. So let's do a quick walkthrough to kind of show you what I've been able to achieve and where it sits currently, and I will probably pause the project from going too much further, and we'll get to this a different time. But for right now, it is a heck of a lot cleaner and functional now. So let's go into showing you exactly what I have done. So walking in the front door, it is, close that for sound, drastically different. A lot better looking. I've got most of my wood projects under control. I have a cord going over to the AC. It was getting really hot in here. But as far as foot space is concerned, I have all of my wood scrap condensed for all the small pieces. Originally I was hoping it would be like at most maybe the 5-gallon bucket. Turned out to be more. I have additional tools, some different supplies and stuff in these 3 boxes that still need to be sorted. This came from one of the accounts I was working at. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with it. The sides are meant to look like a barrel, so I thought that might be kind of cool to do something with. The back of it broke and it's kind of worse for wear, but one of my accounts was like, hey, you do wood projects, here you go. So that's a future project. I got all of my lumber, for the most part, stored up here now. So this is all planed, nice, different types of wood that I can just readily grab and immediately use. I have some driftwood that's been knocking around forever that I just kind of tucked up there, along with all of my long stringer scraps. These 2 long 2x4s that I had purchased from Cole Lumber, there was a light twist in both of them I was able to get out, but they are just really long, nice 2x4s. I don't know exactly what I'm going to use them for. I have kind of an idea. This kind of got reconciled and moved around and added to. It doesn't look the best, but there is all sorts of numerous little pieces that was from that cabinet maker. He purchased these as large stock, cut them down, and was just throwing them away. So anything that's got the blue on it is from him. Otherwise, I've added to it with some of the other stuff that I've made into small stock pieces as well. All of my documentation and any books or anything that is in the shop goes into this tote. Piece to the shopsmith. A lot more storage up above and such for the long random pieces. My tools will eventually get redone a bit more and kind of reorganized and actually have a place for everything, but right now all of my tools are getting stored up there. All of my bit sets and everything was just kind of compiled and moved around for readily available stains, screws, pin nails, nails. My clamps that I have in here currently are up here. A few of them I was using on my vehicles as I was working on them. They need to make their way back out here along with my shorter extension cable. My 100-foot's out here and I kind of would rather swap those back. This is a bench that I had taken apart and put my planer through its paces. So that got unearthed again, and I completely forgot that I had stripped and was almost to the point of restaining and reassembling that Adirondack chair that we had gotten for free. So that's something that I need to finish up. It was just kind of underneath. Under here, all the rest of the pieces that go to the shopsmith to make it into one of like, I think 7 configurations this one can do, are in here. I swapped out my chop saw's blade, cleaned up all underneath here. These are going to turn into some more Adirondack chairs that I am going to hopefully make and sell online. This is going to kind of change around a bit. Back behind the trash can is my belt sander. I've got my Titebond, some clear coat, all my sandpaper I put into a container now, so that way I can grab what I need, have it more readily available, and it won't be fully covered in sawdust now. And here is some other additional project items that were in multiple boxes underneath, some screws and bolts. My air compressor is under here. my drill press, as well as my routing table and what's left of the Valspar. And my studio lighting. That has served me very well. This is some to be sorted, all the safety glasses and everything that I had accumulated, some leather project that I have yet to finish. And then over here is kind of the armory of future axes and a pickaxe and some other stuff that I want to redo and rebuild into proper axes again. And what I'm also looking at doing is I have on order some casters, and I'm going to build a little bottom rolling rack that all of this can still store in there, but then this is up on wheels and I can wheel it around the shop a lot more readily available versus having to pull all of this lumber out. So that way I can actually move this away from the wall if I want to use it in the shop, or I have to move it away from the wall and kind of center it up when the AC is not in there to put stock through the window, and this is technically lower than the window by like that much. So if you're making a cut, you have to raise up what you're cutting to make it go out the window, and it's not the most efficient. And of course, now I can't find my bucket full of anything and everything for mounting stuff onto the wall. I have the really large hooks like I have for my extension cable. It's going to put that up on the wall. And then I have that ladder I was using, I was going to mount up here using those same hooks, but I can't find that bucket. You know, you clean the shop, it's down to literally 3 boxes of things that I've gone through entirely, some wood scrap, and everything else is organized, and I still can't find some things. These are also multiple cell phone stands that I have made and have ready for friends and family or for selling. So that's more stock that I have, and just a little bit of smattering of things that need to be finished up. And the wall will get a little more reorganized later, but otherwise it is readily available and ready to use pretty much from the get-go. Coiled up the hose, and it is just about done. Alright, and there we have it so far. I feel like anyone that says that their shop is now finally finished and 100% never truly means it, because you're always going to be adapting and changing and progressing, moving around, getting a different product or a different type of item to have all your tools displayed on. You're going to find something that's going to work a little better, or something that's on sale that kind of tickles your fancy and makes you feel like, yeah, you know what, why don't we do that? So this is going to always be in progress, so I can't really buckle down and just clean and get it the way I want it. But I am very happy with where it is right now. More of this lumber and stuff will be out of here soon. I have a few more projects I need to knock out for just what I'm going to be having for sale. Like I said, the Adirondack chairs, kind of a table set with that. Don't know if I'll make content on that one or not, since you've already seen the chair. I might come up with a little bit better table maybe and make that into a video, so that way you can kind of see what my thought is on how I'm going to pair them up with the chairs and such. But thank you all so very much for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed this little bit of just kind of a let's get together and clean this up type deal. You could kind of say. You guys came along visually, in spirit we'll say. But thank you all so very much for your patronage and for continuing to support me in my endeavors to keep this channel moving forward. Here's to moving forward and getting more content out there, and hopefully if you have any ideas or anything that you want to see me do or review, feel free to do so as well. I did also pick up some Harbor Freight bolt cutters, because I feel that's one of the things that you end up needing more than you think you would, and it's just one of those things that I kept telling myself, there's not many padlocks I'm going to need to cut off of a friend's shed, or a bolt I'm going to need to kind of drop down. I have needed these things constantly, and I've come up with all sorts of alternatives where I could have just grabbed these very easily and used them in that instance. So I'm going to do a review video on this one eventually. This is my latest tool purchase. You may have seen it in the background. But stay tuned and have yourself a wonderful evening, and thanks again.